Since it was built in 2014, Levi Stadium has hosted playoff games, winning teams, even a Super Bowl. But in the near decade span of its existence, it has been one of the most panned and criticized stadiums in the NFL. And why is it shaped so oddly? Well, the answer is complicated and indicative of the area in which it sits, a product of its environment, if you will. So let's answer the question. Why is half this stadium missing? And that's coming up right after this. The depths of winter now have us fully immersed, but fear not, spring is around the corner. And that means going outdoors. You're gonna wanna have more energy and look great doing it. Though please don't wear spandex. That's where Factor comes in. With Factor, healthy, delicious meals are delivered right to your door with no prep and no mess. Plus, they cut out stressful meal planning and tedious shopping trips. And you can change your order up every week or pause and reschedule. Whatever your activity schedule, Factor will match your energy. Factor now offers 34 different meals per week and 36 plus add-on options like smoothies, juices, and snacks. All great for when you're out of the house enjoying yourself. You want a complete dietary system, whether it's keto, calorie smart, chef's choice, protein plus, vegan or veggie. It's all here. It's all easy. So after this video, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 5points50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Again, head on over to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 5points50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Part 1. A stadium is born. Candlestick Park served as the home of both the 49ers and the San Francisco Giants over a 53-year period from 1960 to 2013. The Giants moved out in 2000 for their beautiful ballpark adjacent to the San Francisco Bay. But for 13 more years, the Niners lived in their oddly configured but comfortable home, where they had brought home 5 Super Bowl championships. By 2000, it was clear the stadium was too old, but because of owner secession, aka scandal, and political bickering, a new stadium proposal wouldn't be formalized until 2007. The plan was to put a sparkling football stadium in San Francisco, in the historically poor and underdeveloped neighborhood of Hunters Point. It seemed like a win-win for everyone. However, in a sign of things to come, the team owners, the York family, changed their minds, eschewed political obstacles, and set their sights on Santa Clara, a city 40 miles south of San Francisco. Many of the residents of San Francisco were shocked and hurt by this development. However, Santa Clara successfully accommodated the team, and construction on the stadium began in 2012, and it was opened in 2014. By accommodations, they made the building tax-free, and the city took out a loan and would be the ones to own and operate the new stadium, making things much easier than stealing welfare funds to build a volleyball court. Let's just say all that planning and effort put into the stadium wasn't exactly met with much fanfare, especially from the team's most loyal supporters. Part 2. The odd configuration. Let's take a look at this stadium. Not only is it geographically far from the fans that support the team, but it's also an asymmetrical monument to class warfare. More on this later. On one side, you have a standard seating arrangement typical of most football stadiums. Upper decks, steep angle seating, clean sightlines. Also, shout out to Brett Coleman for this inside footage. On the other, we have what is essentially a luxury condo complex, an entire half of the stadium that is completely enclosed, air-conditioned, and protected from the elements. A rooftop garden/farm keeps the building cool and LEED certified, and solar panels adorn the crown of the building. Opulence with a sense of responsibility. Candlestick Park was bare bones when it came to amenities. It had one of the fewest amounts of luxury boxes in all of sports, and the team's revenue figures from what is generally a profitable endeavor were lacking. You could call what Levi Stadium did as a massive overcorrection to that. So yes, to answer the video's title, half the stadium is missing because the team wanted luxury box revenue, but that's not the entire reason. Let's dive into the other criticisms of the stadium before we get to that. Part 3, stadium problems. First, let's start with the turf, which was an issue when the stadium opened in 2014. The grass collapsed under Justin Tucker while kicking in 2015. Aqib Talib complained about it after Super Bowl 50. It has gotten better, but it was very bad to start. It's kind of peculiar that a stadium that has a roof that grows crops and grass had trouble maintaining a decent playing surface. As mentioned before, the stadium is LEED certified, as it represents a concerted effort to be as least damaging to the environment as possible. But to the fans that have to sit on the east side, that couldn't be more ironic. During early season afternoon games, the stadium's configuration allows for the fans on this side of the stadium to be pelted with sunlight and heat. A much warmer climate than San Francisco, Santa Clara's game day conditions are harsher than up north. This was a reflection of the design of the stadium being intended for it to be in San Francisco, where wind and airflow help assuage direct heat from sunlight. The stadium has no overhangs, which make for clean sightlines, but no shelter from an unforgiving Santa Clara sun. So essentially, the poorer fans, who can only scrap together a few dollars, sit in the poorly planned heat while their rich counterparts look at them in the shade and air conditioning of their luxury boxes. This after they schlepped nearly an hour from their overpriced neighborhoods to come watch their team and pay outrageous concession stand prices. Coupled with the massively corporate atmosphere of the stadium, which in many cases was priced so high their loyal supporters could no longer afford season tickets, the stadium has become a sign of bitterness and resent. Little things like not being able to print tickets for resale until 72 hours before game time, and large distractions like bars and lounges that take away from the on-field product, make Levi Stadium a further testament to the growing resent between the haves and the have-nots. Candlestick Park was a working man's stadium. Sure, it had its problems, but it was an iconic backdrop to both championships and a place where the average San Franciscan could make real memories. So why is half of Levi Stadium missing? The simple answer is greed. However, the building is a physical manifestation of the massive inequities you see on a daily basis in a region that chooses to ignore its problems. The team chose the almighty dollar over its most loyal fans, and really they haven't had much consequence for it. It's business as usual down in Santa Clara. But something will always be missing.
What a